Welcome to the weight loss module. So, weight loss, fat loss can be quite a controversial topic. Some people have the belief that we should never be in a calorie deficit and that over time, by improving our metabolism, we'll naturally drop off any extra weight that's not supposed to be there. Then there are others who say that calories don't matter at all. It's only food quality and nutrient intake. Then there's the calories in versus calories out argument, which is a very scientific viewpoint on weight loss that states that weight loss only occurs with a calorie deficit, eating less calories than you are consuming. Well, after being in the health and wellness space for over 15 years, we can confidently say that calories and food quality matter. It's not just one or the other. Some people seem to think that weight loss is a mystery, but in the grand scheme of things, weight loss really is quite simple, not necessarily easy, if you have the basics in place and you're in a good place metabolically to be able to lose weight. However, it does take work and effort. I just went through a weight loss phase where I lost over 10 pounds. So let's dive into the principles of what actually works and what's actually sustainable. So, weight loss is a big topic. So, we split it into four modules. We think it's important for you to understand the big picture and the why before diving in so that you will be more successful, because you will be more successful when you fully understand what it takes. So, weight loss part one, is it a good time to lose weight? This module. In the next module, part two, how do we lose fat? Part three, exact steps to lose weight. So, helping you determine your fat loss macros, and we'll really outline some actionable steps for you. And then part four, give you some diet tips. So, like how to deal with hunger, and then help you come out of the diet because we don't want to chronically be eating low calorie, and kind of summarize the main points. So, in this module, part one, let's first assess whether or not it's a good time for you to lose weight right now. So let's start by saying that it is okay and normal to have aesthetic goals. It is okay and normal to want to improve the way you look and feel. And truthfully, there are many people who would benefit from a fat loss phase. However, the goal should be to lose fat in a non destructive, healthy way, since appearance goals should never sacrifice health. We also want to lose fat in a way that is sustainable, where you can keep the fat off for forever. And it's not this constant cycle of gaining, losing, gaining, losing. That's a sign that it's not working. So, the first thing someone should consider when thinking about weight loss is assessing whether they're in a good place to lose weight. We're not saying that the alternative is to gain weight. We just mean that it may benefit said person to spend some time around their maintenance calories, meaning the amount of calories you can consume without gaining weight, and focus on developing healthy habits and other things in his or her life than just their weight. There's a middle ground between weight gain and weight loss called maintenance, where I think a lot of people would benefit from. So it gives you time to really dial in those healthy habits. And once those habits are mastered, then entering a fat loss phase will be a lot more effective and a lot easier. So the macro and calorie modules that we discussed in week two, parts one through three, those are vital to have gone through and fully understand before moving on to a weight loss phase. In those modules, we help you master your maintenance calories. That said, on the flip side, despite what others people say about, quote, healing pounds or going, quote, all in, there's really no need to gain weight when jumping into a pro metabolic way of eating. Meaning, healing doesn't have to involve gaining a ton of weight. Yes, of course, there are some people who would benefit from gaining a few pounds. I was one of them. But rapid and excessive weight loss is not necessary and will cause more problems down the line. Humans have a limitation to our metabolic capabilities, so we don't need to pound down food in excess. The reason many people do gain weight when they start to eat pro metabolic and implement carbohydrates when they were previously eating keto is because a lot of the most nutrient dense, metabolic supportive foods are higher calorie, and therefore that adds up at the end of the day. Many people eat high carb and high fat. They don't understand their calorie and macro needs, or they just add in a bunch of food and 2 calories way too quickly and reduce their exercise in parallel, all of which tips us into a positive energy surplus. So, despite what some people may say, you can still eat pro metabolically, you can still consume carbs and lose weight. And we will share with you how both of us did this in the rest of this section. You just need to be mindful of your food intake and choices and your daily movement, and assess whether right now is the best time for you to enter a fat loss phase. So, being honest with the state of your metabolism and your daily habits is a useful exercise in determining whether weight loss should be a priority at this point in time. We essentially want to assess whether you develop the right habits and understanding of your maintenance calorie needs, as this is a vital step one. So, here are some factors to consider when thinking about weight loss. Have you tracked your macronutrient intake before? No, this is not something you need to do for forever, but it is going to be one of the best tools for a healthy, sustainable, and effective fat loss phase. It will help you take the guesswork, yo yo game out of fat loss. We will, however, provide an alternative option in Module 3, Part 3, for someone that is really adamant on not tracking their macros. It is very helpful to gain an understanding of carbs, fat, and protein, as eating high carb and high fat is not going to help you with fat loss. Next question is, have you spent at least 4 weeks at your maintenance calories? If not, your fat loss phase will not be effective and you will be doing somewhat of a guessing game. Truthfully, ideally, you spend a lot of time at maintenance calories. So, ideally, you're at maintenance calories for several months and push your maintenance calories as high as possible first. But I understand that sometimes people want to lose weight now, and that's okay. But the longer you can stay at your maintenance calories and the higher you can push that, your fat loss phase will be easier. So, ideally, this is at least 2 months. Next question, are your maintenance calories at least 2,000 to 2,200 calories? The higher your maintenance calories, the easier your fat loss will be, since you can diet at higher calories, making the whole process more sustainable. If your maintenance calories are 1,900 calories or lower, you will have to cut your calories pretty darn low in order to lose fat, and that can be really hard to stick to, really unsustainable, and really unhealthy. I pushed my maintenance calories up to 2,800 to 3,000 calories and was there for quite a few years, making my fat loss phase very successful and somewhat of a breeze. No, you don't have to be at your maintenance calories for years, as many people would benefit from a fat loss phase now. However, you do really need to put these base fundamental habit changes and put that work in. An improved metabolism is achieved by improving your body's ability to create and use energy. And the principles of this are discussed throughout the nutrition section. If we don't start by improving our metabolism, then we'll have to diet at low calories in order to achieve that calorie deficit, meaning spending some time working on your metabolism and maintenance calories first, without the sole focus of losing weight, has its benefits for long term, sustainable, and healthy weight loss. Next question, how's your waking temperature and your temperature pattern throughout the day? Waking temperature should ideally sit in the high 97s, and that's in degrees Fahrenheit, and then go up to 98s during the day. Your temps don't have to be perfect, but we just want to make sure that you are at an optimal place metabolically here, since the fat loss phase can encourage those temps to lower. So we don't want to start off low to begin with. So if your temps are really not there yet, say in the 96s or low 97s, maybe take a little bit more time to figure out what's blocking your metabolism, work on your metabolism and your maintenance calories, and then reconsider. So, are you getting your daily movement in? Are you over exercising? Are you taking time for yourself and doing things that you love? Have you reduced the amount of toxic chemicals in your life? Think about things that could potentially be blocking your energy production. But at the end of the day, if you are already eating low calorie, that could be a reason why your temperatures are lower. So it would benefit you to, slowly increase your metabolism and slowly increase your maintenance calories over time. Next question is, do you cook most of your meals at home? It is really, really hard to diet while you're eating out all the time. Preparing most of your meals at home is going to be a vital part of a successful fat loss phase. So if you are not at this point, spending some more time learning how to prepare your meals at home is vital. Next question, do you have a lot of travel ahead? For example, a long vacation, a big move, several weddings in a row, etc. So having these big life events can be time consuming and stressful, making it hard to stay committed to the goal. It's kind of hard to stick to a plan while traveling. Not impossible, but just think about, what you have ahead of you in the next 2 months And if you do have a lot of travel, eating at maintenance calories and focusing more on body recomposition with strength training will be a smarter move until you're past this busy season of life. Next question is, how's your sleep? If you're not sleeping well, that is a sign from your body that it's not a time to diet. Getting adequate sleep is a crucial part of a healthy life and healthy fat loss, so you need to address this first. And a better metabolism will lead to better sleep. That also requires good sleep hygiene and developing a good wind down routine at night. Next question, are you skinny fat? Meaning, are you on the smaller side and not really overweight, but you don't have much muscle? You would really benefit from spending time at maintenance calories and focus on building muscle with strength training for body recomposition. You may not need a fat loss phase and instead just need more muscle to improve your body composition. You'd be surprised with what can be achieved with body recomposition at a stage like this. Next question, very important question. Have you recently been on a diet or have you been eating in a calorie deficit? Diet history is a very important part of this equation. If you've spent a significant amount of time in a calorie deficit recently or in a restrict, binge continuous pattern, then it's really not a good idea to continue to diet. In fact, a lot of people find that after eating so little calories for so long, once they start eating more pro-metabolic and slowly increasing their calories, aka reverse dieting, that you may actually start losing weight or going through better body recomposition even while you're eating more calories because you're not doing this restrict, binge. So you're getting rid of that binge part of the equation, which is increasing your calories in. So this situation doesn't always happen, but it does go to show that being in a calorie deficit for a long period of time is very stressful on the body, and the body will start to put into place protective mechanisms like fighting back, slowing the metabolism to stay at homeostasis and not lose weight. So when the body perceives it's no longer under that stress, it can relax, stress hormones may go down, and the body will be able to lose fat or better redistribute the fat, be at a better place metabolically. So if you have been in a chronic diet, it's really not time to diet again. Instead, it's time to build up and try to increase your maintenance calories. I would recommend eating at maintenance calories and strength training for a period of 6 to 8 months before trying to enter a fat loss phase again. Next question, how's your mood, overall energy levels, stress levels? Well, your mood, energy levels, and stress levels are all important considerations when dieting. You should be happy, in a good state of mind before embarking on a weight loss journey. While sometimes we think that losing weight will bring us happiness, if we're already dealing with moodiness before being in a calorie deficit, that's likely a problem that could just get worse. Now, if we're talking about just being overall not too pleased with yourself and in the mood for change, hey, that's totally okay to want to bring changes to your physique, improve the way that you feel and look about your body. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. But if you think it will bring you happiness, that is false. Find happiness first and do this only because you love and appreciate your body. Energy levels can tend to dip in a deficit. So, yet again, we want to make sure we're pretty stable and regular with our energy before starting a calorie deficit. Excess stress is not really going to be a good thing while being in a calorie deficit, since a calorie deficit in of itself is a stress. So if we're already in a really super stressful season in life, like moving, going through a breakup, maybe pausing on the diet for a little bit, eating at maintenance, and then circle back when, it's not a extremely stressful part of your life. Next question is, do you need to gain or lose weight? What's your why? So, the point of this question is to just really have you consider your why behind thinking about losing weight. Is it health related? Is it socially driven? Is it because you're not loving your current shape? None of these reasons are to be ashamed of. And again, it's okay to want to lose weight, and many people would benefit from losing weight. But you should really spend some time making sure you love yourself right now before jumping into a diet, because you will always be the one to see yourself with a critical eye, and you're never going to be satisfied. Love yourself now so you can love yourself along the way of becoming an even better version of yourself, no matter what that looks like. Evolving is more than just physical, it's mental and spiritual. So, do you need to work on your mental health or spiritual health first? It's just something to consider. Make sure your why is clear when going into this journey, because it will be tough. and it will always be best to have a reason to lean back on to keep you moving forward and keep you motivated. So I'd recommend for you to write down your why. And last question, are you ready to commit and put in the work? No one's going to do this for you. You have to put in the work and you have to be committed. Doing a 50% effort will not yield results. You have to commit and be consistent. Are you ready for this change? Remember, fat loss phases are temporary. They should not be chronic. But for a 6 to 10 week period, you need to be mentally prepared to commit and get after it. So, taking time to honestly answer all of those questions I just listed will give you a good indication of where to start. If it's not a good time for you, though, these resources will be here for you when it is time. It's okay if right now is not the right time to diet. Putting in the work to develop those strong habits will be foundational for your health regardless. It's okay to want to improve yourself, whatever that looks like for you, and it's also okay to be totally content with where you're at and what you look like now. Don't let anyone else's viewpoints make this decision for you. Our impact on others is far deeper than our outside appearance. People care about how you make them feel and the energy and mood that you bring to a room. Instead, spend this time really focusing on healthy habits. So, do you implement these 5 foundational healthy habits? And I really think that it's beneficial for you to master these or at least work on them for a period of time so that you can have a successful fat loss phase. If you really haven't dialed these in, it's not time to yet start your fat loss phase. First, track your macros or at least become aware of macronutrients in meal compositions. So, what are carb sources? What are fat sources? What are protein sources? If you're able to dial in your maintenance calorie range, that will make your fat loss phase even more successful. Number 2, strength training to build muscle. And I know a lot of people get overwhelmed with this, but this can be done with just 2 gym sessions a week. They don't have to be longer than an hour. That will make a huge difference. Building muscle is going to be one of the best things you will do for your metabolism and body composition. No, you will not get huge like Hulk. Building muscle will directly boost metabolism, meaning increase the amount of calories we burn at rest and increase the amount of calories we can consume while we're dieting. Also, strength training during your fat loss phase will be vital to preserve muscle mass, as we want to hold on to as much muscle mass as possible to minimize the amount our metabolism down regulates. Also, more muscle leads to less health problems. Number 3, develop a solid sleep routine, a wind down routine at the end of the day. This sounds silly, but your requirement for good quality sleep is higher when you're in a fat loss phase because you need more sleep to be able to recover since you have less calories coming in. Calories are going to help you recover. So, blue light blockers or less screens right next to your face. However, watching TV and shows and movies from television screens farther away are totally fine if that helps you relax. Adding in some red lights to avoid super bright, like fluorescent lights at night, doing something that relaxes you. Now, these are just great habits to develop for life, not even just a fat loss phase, but dialing that sleep routine in before you enter your fat loss phase will make it a little bit easier to stick to all the requirements that are needed for the fat loss phase. Number 4, we want to make sure that we are active. So if we're at like 2,000, 3,000 steps today, we got to walk a little bit more. So schedule a few walks throughout your day. This is an absolute game changer for your mood, but it will also help your body improve energy production and better utilize the food that you consume. So try to hit a minimum of 6,000 to 8,000 steps per day before entering a fat loss phase where you will increase that slightly more. Number 5, lower life stress wherever you can. Remember, a calorie deficit is a stress on the body. So, to make the cut even more successful, are there life stressors that can be worked through or reduced before you start your cut? Because the less life stressors and stressors that we put on our body just means that your cut will just be more successful. All right, let's summarize. In summary, if you have a very low maintenance calorie intake or have very low body temps, we advise spending some time. This can be a few weeks to a few months, ideally, truthfully, 2 to 6 months, to work on improving your metabolism. This does not involve eating food in excess and gaining weight, aka what people call the healing pounds. This involves slow and steady changes. But an improved metabolism will make weight loss a lot easier and more health promoting. With a slow and sluggish metabolism, you'll have low body temps and pulse measurements, and your maintenance calories will be low. It's very hard to lose weight when you are in a stressed state and a poor metabolic rate because your calories out will be lower, meaning the amount of calories your body burns is low. Your body's not using energy effectively. Since calories in versus calories out still does matter, this makes the calories in required to lose weight way too low and practical and can cause negative health consequences in the long run. For example, let's say your body temps were chronically in the 96s and your maintenance calories were around 1,500 calories a day. So to lose weight, you'd have to consume around 1,000 to 1,100 calories a day. That's just not practical or healthy at all, and it's not necessary. When you improve your metabolism, your body is better at producing energy. Your body will burn more calories and operate better. This also means you can eat more food and not gain weight. Heck yes. Your maintenance calories are higher, so you can lose weight at a higher calorie intake. So if we return back to that individual, let's say he or she increases body temps to high 97s or low 98s by implementing our course principles. New maintenance calories are 2,300 calories a day. That means he or she can likely lose weight around 1,800 calories. So much more practical. The higher your maintenance calories, the more responsive your body will be to a fat loss phase. So it will be to your advantage to spend some time working on your metabolism. And that is what our course helps you with. And hey, who knows? Maybe you may try implementing these habits, and this may lead to improved body composition and weight changes since it provided more structure relative to what you were doing prior. And you don't even have to enter a calorie deficit because you just implementing these structures and being more aware of what you're eating and what you're doing day to day puts you in a calorie deficit relative to what you were doing before.